Winter is definitely on its way. You can actually feel the chill in the early mornings and in the late evenings, and it's definitely time to start putting these track pants on. But in today's video, I'm going to show you what is happening at the homestead, out with summer crops and in with winter crops. And there's a few summer crops that are still holding on, but they're going to be on their way out soon. So I want to show you what we're growing so that we can start planning the winter garden. Okay, so we always start at the bottom of the homestead, and you can see that we've still got some summer crops that is holding on. And I've left only 2 tomato plants in the ground. The others have all come out. Cherry tomatoes are indeterminate tomatoes, and they'll just keep on producing and pushing out things until your first frost. So they are really, really, really great tomatoes to have. And I do prefer cherry tomatoes. I like to just come in the garden, pick some, pop it in my mouth, add it to salads, even put them in some food, and they taste really, really nice. Okay, so in this bed I do also have the corn, and if you guys remember that we had to redo our corn bed because it got damaged by the hail, and so our corn didn't develop very well. It basically started drying out and dying, and it wasn't because it wasn't getting enough water, because trust me, we were having so much rain. But it's the hail that damaged the homestead this year very, very badly. We do have really good plans, and yeah, I look forward to that. And hopefully that protects the garden from hail, as well as putting the net over that we are planning to do, so that will help a little bit with the birds. But we've got a new bed of corn there, and they're doing very well. I already see some cobs that is starting to develop there, and I'm hoping that winter doesn't hit us too early, even though it's starting to feel colder. I'm just hoping the corn makes it. So yeah, and I did start my corn very early, just like all my other crops, and I was prepared, but I wasn't prepared for this hail. So that's what we've got there. And then in between the corn, we've actually got some beans growing around it and upwards. So obviously the corn acts as a stalk for them to climb on, which has been really nice. So that is that bed, and once that bed dies off and we take everything out, I'm just going to try and fill that bed up with all the fallen leaves and grass, and just make it like a compost bin. I think I've mentioned that before in my previous videos. So let's go on to the next bed, and it is that bed over there. So this has got some spinach, and I actually like the spinach. It's a spinach I've grown before. I don't know what it's called. Could be called the matador spinach. I'm not really sure. It's not like your other spinach. So this is definitely a spinach I like to grow in my garden, as well as some other varieties. But that's great. We've got some new choy molloy kale that we've grown from seed, and that I got these seeds, planted them, and look how big they are already. They are nice and big. And then we've got some other choy kale there. We've got the blue dazzling kales over there. And then we've got our beautiful curly kale over here. I've got actually quite a few of them, and I've got some new ones that we've just popped in the seedling trays today. Seeds are from Kirchhoff Seeds, and their seeds never ever fail me. They always germinate. Really great variety, and so I do recommend Kirchhoff and Raw Seeds. They never let me down. Every single one has germinated, so I'm very happy about that. We've got our odd cayenne, and what's that at the back? We got some jalapenos. Some already gone red, so I need to harvest. Tomorrow I'm going to do a big harvest. Today I just had to quickly do some cleaning out, so we took out all the cucumbers, most of the tomatoes, and tomorrow we are going to be harvesting all our beans. So let me show you the beans quick. Look how dry they are. That's quite cool. And the plant has now died off, and we will be putting in that bed probably the blue shelling peas that got Kirchhoff as well, and that will grow nicely on the trellis. We are wanting to remove the trellis though, so I might actually move the peas to where the cucumbers was. I just need to reset that bed because obviously I had a different mixture in. So that is something I need to do. Come over here and you'll see that I have snails, just a whole bunch of snails. Let me just quickly show you what's happening there. Look at these snails. They are literally, they're taking over, and someone did suggest putting a bowl of beer there, so I might just go and grab some beer and put it out. But that is the only thing that holds me back from doing amazing cabbage. They get to this point, this stage, and then it just doesn't get better than that. I just have so much problems. So I'm going to be trying to tackle that tomorrow when I start planting everything and harvesting. But I just wanted to quickly do a quick, I just wanted to quickly do a quick tour showing you what is growing in the garden. So I'm going to swing around this side, and we've got a baby chicken. Look how big it is. It's not a baby anymore. It's like smallish, but and they've discovered that they can jump over the pots and come into my homestead, and they're starting to dig and use the raised beds as a dust bath, which is annoying. But yeah, I've got one more cucumber plant here that will be coming out tomorrow. I didn't actually get around in doing that. The cucumber will come off, and that is the last cucumber. I was very disappointed with the cucumbers this year, but I know for a fact next year is going to be much better with the cucumbers. The raised beds are going to be changing, and the structure where the tomatoes grow and the cucumbers is going to be much more better, where you can access it on both sides of the raised beds. So yeah, always trying things new here at the homestead, and that's just fun. You're allowed to make mistakes. It's how you learn and how I can show you guys what to do. But this bed has been a bit of a disappointment as well. Only on that side where the actual pak choy is, because something like snails and hohos, they've been busy chomping the baby pak choys. But we've had a really good success with the kohlrabis. I think I can harvest the one here, and I think I've got another one on the other side, and then just reset this bed. What else is happening? This is probably the busiest bed here, and it looks amazing. You have your lettuce, all different varieties of lettuce. You've got beautiful spinach, that spinach that I like. You got a kohlrabi over there. You got bean bush trailing somewhere. Oh, look, it's actually starting to creep on the kale. Watermelon never ever grew big, but it is in this bed, and I've just left it to crawl. Just leaving it. It won't develop in time because the weather has changed. And it's just been a terrible year. Last year we grew 4 varieties of different melons, and each one gave us at least one melon, and they tasted absolutely amazing. We did a taste test together. We did the Amish melon, we did the honeydew melon, the Casabana melon, the Charontis melon. It was awesome. This year, unfortunately, the weather was so against me. But what we got in this bed as well is the wonder peas. So that is quite cool. Wonder beans. And it's nice and green, and it's still absolutely lush. Starting to crawl on here. So yeah, that is awesome. Can't wait for the sweet potatoes though. It's something I'm going to absolutely have fun doing. Okay, over here we've got a brinjal that I'll harvest tomorrow. I need to harvest it tomorrow because it's starting to go green, and you know what that means. It gets spongy and it then doesn't taste nice. But the brinjals don't seem to be pushing out. Don't know what is going on with the brinjals. Yeah. Anyways, lettuce. We got a whole bunch of lettuce, and this bed I want to actually put a whole bunch of lettuce and carrots for winter. This bed, a whole bunch of, I have no idea, maybe put the beets in that bed. This bed is the tomato bed, and we're going to actually keep that bed empty. We're going to use it as probably a compost bay as well as this bed. We'll take the lettuce out and maybe move it to this bed, but that is going to be compost bay. What we're going to do with this bed is we're going to pull out the beans and do a clean out, and maybe we'll put the Chinese cabbage there, but we are going to go across to the seedling tray. Show you what I'm growing, but just swing the camera around and just show you what is happening on this side as well. Okay, so this is the beautiful greenhouse, and I'm wanting to actually flip it over so it runs this way rather, so that is all free. I think it'll be better. The butternuts, I've got no words for the butternuts. I grew it very early. I tried, and we've got a wasp that has discovered all the fruits, and what's happening is that it's come across to the butternut squashes and stung every single one, and they just die and fall off. So no luck with the butternut. Not sure how long that will last, but yeah, that's just not working. Over here we've got all the sweet potatoes. I think I've got about 6 sweet potato bags here, and that will all obviously be harvested when it does back, and we're able to do a nice harvest there. Over here we got some beautiful peppers I need to take off and harvest. That will happen tomorrow. What I have been enjoying is taking the tamarillo fruits off and actually eating them. It's probably one of my favorite fruits. I absolutely love them. And I think I love them because I love tomatoes so much. So you get a hint of tomato flavor, but you also get a tropical flavor with it. And a lot of people have different tastes, but what I can taste is guava. That's all I can say is I taste guava and tomatoes. Okay, so what do we have? Remember the chamomile that I planted? There it is. So go take a look at that video. I think it was 6 crops you can start in February and March for winter. So chamomile was one of them, and I've got 1, 2, 3 little pots with chamomile, and there's quite a few in there. Then here is the blue peas, and they are definitely ready to go in the beds and start trailing on something. We've got some Chinese cabbage at the back there. We've got 1 broad bean. The celery hasn't come up yet. The Swiss chard, I think the seeds are a goner because none of my Swiss chard has come up. And then I just wanted to show you the nasturtiums. Check at that. So that will go into some beautiful pots. Maybe put some at the edge of the raised beds. So these are my nasturtiums. I grew all these nasturtium seeds, germinated, and these are from Kirchhoff as well. And I just need to pop them out and put them in the ground. We got one Chinese chili that popped up, and then that was that. Then I've got some beets. So some of the bull beets has come up. We've got some Cosby beets that still need to germinate. And yeah, that is our winter crops in these two trays. I got more Chinese cabbage in this and kale, curly kale, and both from Kershoff. So that is cool. And then tomorrow I'll just do some more sowing of winter seeds. Maybe I'll direct sow because we need to now get our carrots in the ground, and I like to direct sow carrots. So soon all our fruit trees will be bare and the garden will start changing again and everything will go into dormancy for winter. But let me just show you this. This is one of my new chili trees that I grew. It will overwinter when I put the hothouse up. And these are my little chilies. I absolutely love them. The best chilies in the whole world. And it has like a citrus taste to it and it's mild. Awesome. And then we've got some more pepper dew plants that I didn't put in the ground. They stayed in pots and that's why it's so small. Over there we've got 2 fruits, tamarillo fruits. I can harvest that tomorrow as well. Put it in the fridge and enjoy it nice and cold. We're also going to be harvesting all the pomegranates because I'm not really sure if they're still okay due to the fact that we had the wasps sting it as well. So every single one got stung except this one. So, and then over here we've got a overwintered pepper dew plant. You can see it's much bigger than the other ones, but that's fine because it is doing amazing in this pot. And we've got some pepper dews we can actually harvest tomorrow. And then yeah, some nice update from the homestead. So this is Sash. She's always with me in the garden. She thinks she's a puppy, and that's why I love Rhode Islands. She's a commercial Rhode Island though, which is fun. Can you get off me? Yeah, so she's just sitting on my shoulder and enjoying. Get off. Thank you. And she'll just hover around me while I am busy at the homestead. And it's so nice that when you get to a point where you can actually bring in chickens into your homestead, it actually starts feeling like a homestead. So this is our winter garden and we're starting to prep for it. There's a lot of empty beds, 1, 2, got 3 empty beds right now. And I don't really like empty beds, but when winter comes, that's when it's my quiet peak and I can just concentrate on other things. So I use my beds as compost bays where I can actually put all my fallen leaves, because we do have a tree that actually has so much leaves that falls off. Right now our compost bay is absolutely full to the top, so it's going to be a little bit hard to try and figure out where all of these leaves are going to go. But what we normally do is that we just leave it on the ground and it insulates the ground, and then at the end of winter we'll just rake it all up and it just gets put into other bags where it can just break down, or it should go into the compost bay bin. But as I said, there isn't much space, so I'm hoping that there's quite a few things that have broken down during summer that we are going to be digging out hopefully next week, so that that compost bay can actually just drop a bit and we can just carry on putting our stuff in there. But yeah, that was the winter tour. So we're slowly getting all our summer stuff out of the garden and bringing in some winter crops. And if you're not really sure what to start growing, go take a look at this video that explains to you 6 crops that you can start growing right now for winter. It's not too late. Get going. It is absolutely amazing when you can actually plant something, harvest it, and enjoy what you've grown from your own garden. It doesn't matter how small your garden is, there's always a way. And comment below and tell me what you guys are growing in your winter garden this season. And just some exciting news. Small Urban Greens Homestead is doing a 90-day roadmap blueprint on how to start homesteading from your back garden, and that will hopefully drop by next month. And by the time you finish with that series, you will begin as someone that didn't know how to homestead to a homesteader. So look out for that series, which will be dropping next month. Until then, go take a look at this video, and I'll see you in the next video.